On this edition of Native Report, we travel to Las Vegas, where the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development held their annual Summit and Business Trade Fair. We talked to a few members from the Wolf Clan from the popular Twilight saga. And we visit Red Rock Canyon, where we learn about rock art and petroglyphs and their meaning and what is being done to protect them. We'll also hear from the elders and learn something new about Indian country on this Native Report.
Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation.
Welcome to Native Report. I'm Stacy Thunder. The National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development supports economic opportunity by and for Native Americans across Indian country. We sat down with Chairwoman Margot Gray Proctor and Acting President CEO Maria Dadger to learn about the history behind the organization.
Is everybody ready to do business?
The Reservation Economic Summit is the largest and longest running American Indian business conference and trade fair in the U.S. It is where business gets done in Indian country.
It's where we bring corporate America, the federal agencies, tribal enterprises, tribal leaders, and first and foremost is who we watch out for, is our Native entrepreneurs. And so when we bring all that synergy together, that's where we can create the opportunity to make the hard contacts. That's what everyone was telling me was, hey, I've got some hard contacts to follow up with when I get home. And that's what's going to be absolutely key. Because it means job creation or sustaining your company, or if it's a new company, it'll give you the springboard. So that's what our event means to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it provides essential networking opportunities. I mean, there's so many things that we have that other people don't. I mean, we go out of our way to have the entertainment. We had dancers and musicians, artists, we had live art performance. Those are all contracts that we provide, and they're opportunities. I went and talked to so many of the artists, and they picked up major opportunities. Just one of the artists creates awards for various ceremonies, and it looks like they're going to be using him back east to create some awards, and that would probably be a big contract for him.
Invitations to speak at the conference were accepted by a number of federal officials and representatives who recognize the power and role Indian country has on commerce.
We were so excited. We had top-level officials from Washington, D.C. We had the Secretary of Commerce, Gary Locke, and then we had the administrator from SBA, Karen Mills, and so we've had some wonderful, exciting speakers, top level, and I think we had many comments from our attendees that were just so surprised and pleased to see that level of attention coming from the White House on down.
You know, great comment there on the White House. They came, give the president's message, they deliver it. Jody Gillette. He has appointed more Native Americans in this administration than ever before. So when we want to contact at SBA, we can call Clara Pratt, Navajo. When we have a contact over at Commerce, we've got Don Chapman, he's the new senior advisor. Jody Gillette, Kim Teehee, phenomenal women that we can contact. And that's just a few of the ones that have been across this administration. So I think with this new administration, it's really being more business friendly because we're really all in this together. We had a great opening session. We had Secretary of Commerce. That was absolutely key because it's the only place in the U.S. Constitution, I think it's in Article 1, that says, that commerce will be dealt with the Indian nations. And to think we had the Secretary of Commerce here.
The trade fair features both large and small businesses. This year, the National Center focused on Native American women entrepreneurs.
We added new elements this year. The power of Indian country today, tomorrow, together. So we had several different learning sessions that focused on that. We had the power of energy, the power of construction. We had the power of our Indian women. As you know, they are the backbone of Indian country, the heart and soul. And they have the highest success rate over 5 years of any other minority if they stay in business 5 years. Their success rate is 100%. That's phenomenal. So we added a special award this year. We awarded Sister Sky the first ever Women-Owned Business Enterprise Award. So we were real proud to do that. The other is we had a special reception for our Native women. And we did a little something special to me is that we took up the issue of Go Red for Indian Women. The money that we raised from that is going to go, and we all bought the pins and we all were wearing them. We all wore red on Tuesday, and that money that we raised is going to go to the American Heart Association, because as we all know, heart disease is the #1 killer of Indian women.
The National Center had its beginnings in Los Angeles 40 years ago with a broad mission to help Native America.
There was a vision of a group of Native American businessmen, and they thought that what better way than to start your own company so that we could create jobs and training for our own people. And so there was a policy enacted that brought about the Minority Business Development Agency, and contracts were available. And so they applied and won those contracts. And we've actually had contracts with the Minority Business Agency since that time, which is a phenomenal success.
Yeah.
And so through our contracts, we provide business development services and procurement assistance. We also do financial packaging, bid matching, all of those practical business services that you need as a new startup business. As an organization, that's our mission, is to create a Native American private sector where one Indian-owned company can do business with another. We also recognize our success stories, like you were recognized through the 40 Under 40. And then we provide these essential business networking events. Res is just one of our events. We had a business opportunity day at Navajo Nation about 2 months ago. And I had a client come up to us the other night and say that he picked up a $3 million contract at that event in Navajo Nation. So we have the national, the regional, it's all there for business development.
The Reservation Economic Summit is just one event by the National Center, but from a networking standpoint, it is an important one.
Bring plenty of business cards. Work on your elevator speech, because what we said, we had the procurement pavilion, and you have about, 5 minutes to sell your business to corporate America or to a Fed agency or to another Native-owned company. So you had to have that ready. So we give you the tools to do that. People think that Res is, National Center is just an event center, but it's much more than that. The other 361 days, we are working and helping entrepreneurs get into business, get access to capital so they can invest in their dreams of owning their own business. We want everybody to have the Native American dream, where we can go and get our own insurance, where we can go and walk into a bank and say, I need money for a new car, and not be turned down. That's the power. And but really, truly, the power of Indian country is us when we work together.
How we can help each other succeed is a common theme of the National Center.
You have that time frame where you're doing good in Indian country, but then you have to pave that way for the next person to come behind you. And if we don't do that, and then turn and open that door and grab someone by the hand and pull them on through with you, then my work that I've done in Indian country is for naught. Because you know what? I've had someone do that for me, and they said, "Do you pay it forward?" Dave Anderson has been a great mentor to me, but I also had wonderful parents who were there for me and always told me I could do this and believed in me. Res is one of our signature events, but it's really the key, the strength of it is the trunk is the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development. And we may have started in our 41st year, but we want to be here for many, many years.
Every single one of you, be bold about business.
Did you know the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development has assisted over 25,000 Indian enterprises and trained over 10,000 tribal members? Founded in 1969 by 7 American Indians, the organization has helped its clients obtain over $4.5 billion in contracts and financing. The mission of the organization is to develop and expand an American Indian private sector. The center focuses on employing Indian labor, increasing the number of tribal and individual Indian businesses, while positively impacting and involving reservation communities. They also seek to establish business relationships between Indian enterprises and private industry. Today, the center has 9 offices staffed with over 50 employees.
The novels and films of the Twilight saga are, to say the least, very popular and have a large fan base. We were fortunate to meet and talk with a few members of the Wolfpack about their craft and about their recurring roles in Eclipse, the new Twilight movie.
Bella, maybe we can get a break from Jake's obsessive inner monologue.
Wish Bella would call. Wish Bella wouldn't call.
Maybe I should call Bella.
Maybe I should call Bella and hang up.
All right, shut up now.
Twilight Mania was in full swing at Res 2010 as 3 members of the Wolfpack made an appearance. Native Report had an exclusive interview with the 3.
Well, I was in the first episode of the saga, and basically it was just, a across the country auditioning process, and they came in, we did some improvisational work, and I was a lucky guy. Know in your heart that this is really something you want to do, because 15 years and now I've only recently gotten a profile with it, so it's not an overnight success by any stretch, as opposed to some people.
Birmingham's character was introduced in the first feature, and the Wolfpack made their debut in the second film of the series. For Gordon, the youngest of the 3, it is a role of a lifetime.
It was my first gig, and is really my only experience with it, and it's pretty much changed my whole perspective on life, and it's really what I want to do for the rest of my life. You never know what would happen. I was just this shy kid before, and Embry's pretty much emulates that, and I had to bring out some, I had to be more outgoing with my character, because usually I'm more introverted and stuff, and this has really helped me to grow and develop my own personality, I guess. And I don't know, I kind of just got inside my head and just thought up of Embry, of being Jacob's best friend and Quill's best friend, and just being the best friend guy, and just being this happy kid.
As a veteran of the stage, and having starred in several roles on the smaller screen, Chaske Spencer still finds acting classes helpful.
When I was a young actor, I always thought this is the way my craft should work, this is the way I'm going to do it. But through learning, through life, and being an actor for a long time, I learned that each film is different. Each film I approach a character very differently. And with this film, it was I had the books, which helped out a lot, and plus these guys too. Well, I've worked with Gil before, and Kiowa, and the chemistry of the Kiowa and the other Wolf guys. It helped out, enhanced that. So it wasn't that hard to come in. I just let it happen organically. Life is your ultimate teacher, because when we work our bodies and our emotions, and what class does, it helps us get there faster and helps us get there where we can tap into those emotions, because this is your instrument. This is what you're using to use as your art. And what I like about class is what I learned in class was gaining confidence to go places where I didn't think I would be able to go, and to break down a scene, and to what is the scene about, the when, why you're there, how you're there, who you are, and what your main motivation is. And you learn to keep it simple as well. But class definitely helps you get there faster.
Starring in a popular film franchise is something many actors aspire to, but only a small percentage make it.
I was going to church, usually with my mom and my family, and Stephanie Meyer was also in that same church, and she sort of lent out a hand and told me that there was going to be an open casting call for the major motion picture, you know. That's all they said about it, and so I got sides and like actually had like a leg up on everybody else because I actually knew what it was for, and I could actually like learn a character and then go in and do it. And so after that, I got an email a couple weeks later, getting offered Embry, so that was it. And
how did you feel about that?
It's weird. It was very surreal at that moment because, like, I never thought any chance I'd get it because I never pursued it and I never had any training, and plus there was like 70,000 people going out for the same role.
The movie industry may have its luster and glamour, but what the viewing public may not realize and often doesn't see is that filmmaking really is work.
Our perception of the experience is still as ourselves. I don't know if that really sounds right, but we're still the same people we were before this pop culture phenomena thing happened. So we're very grateful for it. You know, it's given us a certain profile, but we're still the same people operating in the thing that we love doing. So it's a little strange when people imagine our experience to be so much different than it really is for ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. It's just yeah, it's a job, and what we like, the part that we were talking about is the acting part. That's the best part. The part between action and cut, or you know, to do your craft. Everything else is great, but it's all just fantasy. An illusion and fantasy. Yeah. It's an all illusion, and people's perception of that. I don't know what they're thinking, but they may think, I don't know if they're think it's a grand experience, but really it's work. And you know, when we're on Vancouver and we're filming, it's work, and it can be fun times, you know, but we're there to work, and that's the best part about what we do is we get to act.
I've always been fascinated by the human condition. You know, the experience as a human being, and having a consciousness of a spiritual existence, and being more of a spirit operating within body. So I'm motivated and inspired by the study of characters and the understanding of a human being, no matter what it is that they do, because something motivates them, something triggers them to behave in certain manners, and that's what fascinates me about acting, playing different characters.
Now we live so differently, you know. We go to college and work and raise our children, and it's just recently, I think, that the Indian children have become more accustomed to the whites' ways. My mother and dad went to the Indian school at Vermilion, and so we didn't speak Chippewa in the house because they were taught to try and get rid of the language. But now I wish we'd known more, but we know some of the basic words like sugar and doto shabo, which is milk, and some basic words we learned when we were younger, but now, and I wished I could have learned more. But they were taught at the Indian school to try and speak more English in the homes.
West of Las Vegas is Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, a place known for breathtaking scenery and rock art left by earlier inhabitants. While their true meaning may be lost to history, these messages carved in stone lead visitors to ponder the question of who made them and why.
A cold wind blew across Red Rock Canyon as Kenny Anderson of the Las Vegas Paiute tribe walked toward an outcrop bearing images from long ago.
This is probably one of the ways that the Paiute people went back and forth from Las Vegas to Pahrump, one of the trails that they used. And as you can see, we have petroglyphs on this side, and what we call it in Southern Paiute is tupi piokant. That means writing on the rocks. And each petroglyph or writing or pictograph has different meanings. Some are painted, some are like pecked into the surface. And basically some of them are just telling things about what you need to know, the area, like if there's bighorn, if there's water sources, and trail systems.
Some of the images are easily identifiable, while others are cryptic. Best estimates date many of these as thousands of years old.
It's basically like red paint, ochre, red ochre. Get it from different sources, either from like red colored dirt, you know, to mix it up with some other liquids to form the paint. They're all through southern Nevada, southern Utah, northern Arizona, southern California, all around this whole area. Some believe that the spirit of this mountain, or the mountains, where the people actually did these things to help people. And some people think other people came and put them on there. There's actually some that are sort of like in the late 1800s, and then they're depicting the slave trading that was happening in the southern Nevada to the Paiutes. And it just shows basically a wagon with people tied behind it.
Red Rock Canyon is not tribal land. The Bureau of Land Management, however, consults with the Southern Paiute and other Native nations regarding the rock art.
The BLM is actually has a site stewardship program for these areas that people go out and basically monitor them. We don't want to call too much attention to what's here actually. You know, the less of a sign going up saying petroglyphs here is a better thing, you know, and not to have them broadcast or say, this is where you can see petroglyphs, you know. The people who come out to see these things usually have are sort of like aware, you know, of the history, and there's other people who aren't, and they just like to destroy things, you know. A lot of people don't understand when they come into areas like this that, you know, people were here long before they were ever, you know, thought of coming to Vegas or Southern Nevada, and they should show respect to these sites. The people who actually do these things are destroying history. Besides the Native history, it's the American history too, so they're just destroying their own history.
The people who created these images are gone, but Anderson still feels a strong bond connecting the present to the past.
When I bring people out here, like the elders, it just reconnects us to the land, you know, because they weren't put here by people that we don't know. I mean, they're the relatives of us, of the Native people in this area. So it connects us, and it shows that, you know, we've been here forever. We still have a lot of Paiutes around here, and we're still here, and this is our homeland. I actually feel good that we're still here, that we can actually tell our younger kids, you know, our history. We need to, you know, explain to the children or even the young adults their purpose and who they are, and to help them connect with their life, and to have a better understanding of, for them to, like, when they grow up, or, you know, this is who we are and this is what we believed, and we're not lost. We have a purpose here.
For more information about Native Report or the stories we've covered, look for us on the web at nativereport.org. Thank you for spending this time with your friends and neighbors in Indian Country. I'm Stacy Thunder. See you next time on Native Report.
Stacy Thunder is an enrolled member of and legal counsel for the Red Lake Nation. And Ted Johnson is an enrolled member of the Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe and is Solicitor General for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation. The Red Lake Nation. And Ted Johnson is an enrolled member of the Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe and is Solicitor General for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation.